Hey, what we have going on today is a shave with my Nacet. It's going on 66 uses now, so today is 67. I'm just going to do one pass probably, since it's in the morning and I want to be able to shave tonight probably. I'm using this vintage Gillette New Deluxe, and you can identify it as a deluxe because the base plate here doesn't have a kind of like a speed bump running right down the middle of it right here. It's just flat. And this is the 17 millimeter, measured it yesterday. There's a 15 millimeter as well, and it's a real good, real smooth shaver. This one actually comes in 3 pieces. You unscrew the bottom here, and that connected to the top plate here. And so the base plate and the handle, I just think it looks really good. The diamond pattern on the handle provides great grip. It's functional, but I think it looks good too. And then here's the groove here that lines everything up. I'll take the top cap there, put in my old Nacet. And then put I was just going to load it up off camera, but then I thought, you know what, maybe folks haven't really seen too many of these. And there we go. Ready to go. So today's shave, I've had my Boar brush soaking. It's my Whip Dog 24 millimeter Boar. I really like it. And my shaving bowl is here. I'm going to go back and put another use on my Williams soap that I used during August, and it just won't die. So let's see what we can do about that. I think we're ready to go. Let me splash some water on my face. I did for a few minutes now. My Williams little sliver has been soaking in hot water. I was doing some soaking in cold water, and I just wasn't having a great result, and I didn't know if it was because the puck is so small that it's hard to get down to, or if I was just changing too many variables at once. And so that's why I put it in my cup, and so it should be all soaked now. And it's still going to flop around down there because it's loose. It's not attached because it shrinks and expands as the water evaporates and stuff. I'm going to try something new today. I'm going to dump out the water. I'm going to put the puck in. See how thin it is. I'm going to put the puck just in the palm of my hand and lather that way, and build the lather that way. I'm gonna drop some of the water out, so maybe it's like medium, full, maybe a little bit less, and we're gonna load for let's just do 30 seconds and see what happens, and wait till the 40 rolls around. There, load until I see the 10 come up. Oh, this looks like it's doing a lot better than the other method. And we do have some drippage, but that's just fine. This will probably be plenty of soap. But since I'm changing my methods, I wanted to be safe and sure. So there we go. And I'll put that sliver back in the cup for another day. Still got that in my hand and this in my brush. Just going to rinse out what's in my hand off. And then just go right to the bowl with it. Since I had a little bit of water in my brush, I'm just going to go right to the bowl. I do think I'll probably need to add a little bit of water, because I didn't I didn't leave as much in the brush as I usually do. This new Deluxe razor is a deceptively smooth shaver. I shaved with the new razor early on. I found one of those in the vintage Gillette category there, and it was a little bit too much blade feel for me at the time. But I bet it was more my technique, really. Add in a little bit more water. So this soap had a several minute soak in hot water, and then a 30-second load from my palm. So we'll just see what happens. It has already produced maybe a month and a half of shaves. And going into August, the words that I heard was that Williams is good for about a month. And so, judging from the amount of soap I still see, looks like maybe it might even go for 2 months. The other day I broke off some pieces of that chunk I showed you, and man, a little went a long way. There are cheaper soaps out there, and even cheaper, in that category of cheaper ones that are out there, there are some of those that are easier to lather. Williams is not as intuitive as some of the other ones, but the lather I'm looking at right now is really nice. You just got to mix past that airy, bubbly stage. And I usually find that coming into it with a brush that has some water in it already helps. One thing I don't think the hot soak is a big factor. I think you can be just fine if you want to load without a soak. You just have to load for longer. But the hot soak just lets it be quicker. But there are some of the artisan cropes out there that you can whip up a lather in 30 seconds. You know, it's just, and go with it, or a minute. Whereas this guy takes a little bit longer, but I have been rewarded. There's a brush fiber there. All right, let's do a little finger test. A little bit of cushion. Let's give it a shot. Kind of feels a little watery when I rub them together, so we'll just see how that works out. All right. Sometimes William splash water on my face. Sometimes William is a little deceptive in terms of adding water, because it just kind of starts out thin and stays thin until at the end, if you've done everything right, then it thickens up. So it's very possible to over water it and not realize it. All right. But I have gotten plenty of creamy, comfortable Williams lathers without too much trickery. And the soap will last for decades. This is kind of starting to dry out. So let's add a little water to the brush. I wonder if maybe the 30-second load wasn't quite enough for such a small puck. And I know it's not the brush today because I have used this brush to make a lot of Williams lathers. So hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to pull that puck back out, do a little more loading. Several times during the month of August when I was just doing Williams by itself, when I went back to the puck, somehow, I don't know, maybe it softened up more or something. And what I got was an amazing, slick, cream after that. Yeah, I think I just needed more load time. I'm glad I'm not going to be doing too many passes today. All right, here we go. 67 uses. Oh, that's great. That is smooth. I can barely feel it cutting. How about that? A 66-use blade that I can barely feel cutting. Down on my neck is a little more sensitive. I can feel that. A little bit of blade feel there. And you know what? I can't really feel the hairs being cut from my skin's perspective. Where I actually feel it is in the handle of the razor. I can feel a little bit of roughness as it's going over hairs. But it's not really my skin that's feeling that. How about that? All right, I'll go ahead and do a second pass. Gather all the lather that I have in the bowl here. Don't be afraid of lather that's too wet, especially if it's a good soap. One thing you can do is just keep going, keep brushing, because as the overly wet lather, the water evaporates, the soap becomes more creamy and thicker. So you see this on my face? It's hardly there. It's so loose that stuff's just flying off. So apparently what I thought was a lather that needed more hydration was not. So definitely need to just load more with this smaller puck. Who knows, maybe even twice as much more. Tiny slim puck that's in a just kind of in a different state than it was, a few weeks ago. This lather is not as good as my first one. So I do actually feel the blade edge, but I don't think it's actually going to leave me with any irritation. It definitely doesn't feel uncomfortable right now. And I don't have iron skin. So I'm really kind of normal type shaver in terms of what bothers me. At least I think I am. I don't often have the problem with the lather dripping off my razor head. And very nice. There we go. How about that? So now I know it's not it hasn't been the brushes that I've been using. It's just the size of the puck. It's a lot smaller than it used to be, so it needs more time. I'm going to rinse. So there we go. It's a pretty nice shave. Especially considering I'll just shave again later tonight. I'm a night shaver by preference, and I missed my shaves and I was too busy last night. So instead of skipping a day, I decided to do one during the morning. But this little guy, it was great to enjoy him again. Set him over here. I like to take them apart because I won't be using him tomorrow, and let them dry kind of while I'm cleaning up my other stuff. Super liquidy lather there, especially that second pass. That's probably the thinnest lather I've maybe ever used, but face feels fine. Matter of fact, the second here, maybe we'll try an alcohol splash and we'll see. Let me see what I got down there. Haven't used this guy in a while. This is Blood Oath by Dr. Jons, and I think it's vegan. Wait a minute. I think all aftershaves are vegan, but it does have like witch hazel and aloe and things like that in it, and it does have alcohol as the first ingredient. No stinging. We're good. It's a nice bright orange scent with some spices. I like it a lot, especially the soap. And there we go, all cleaned up. Pretty quick little shave. Face feels great. No irritation. How about that? 67 uses. Hope this was of help to somebody, and gave you a little look at the Deluxe, which is a new, vintage new from Gillette. And generally we spell the new all caps. It's just kind of the current syntax that we use when talking about those guys. There are news, and then there are new Deluxes, and this one was the Deluxe. And I think it shaves a lot better, at least for me, than the standard new. It came out a long time ago, like the 30s or something like that. But maybe the early 40s, can't remember. This is Sugar Daddy Shaves. Take care and good day.